Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing my February TBR. Before we get into the TBR, let's take a look at how I did with my January books. But quickly before we do that, I do want to talk about the sponsor for today's video, Book of the Month. So Book of the Month is a super popular and fast-growing online book service for readers. Their mission is to promote new and emerging authors and help readers discover books they love. Their team vets hundreds of books each month and gives readers their choice from curated selection of new and early release titles so you can spend more time reading and less time researching. Book of the Month is risk-free and you can skip any month, anytime, and you will not be charged. Plus, they have the best price for new release hardcover fiction. And you can get your first book for just $9.99 with the code FEBREADS. So here are the 5 February books. We have Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This is a adult sapphic about 2 women who get drunk in Vegas and get married. Then we have Girl A by Abigail Dean, which is a haunting exploration of trauma and survival in this gripping portrait of family, violence, and memory. Then we have The Kindest Lie by Nancy Johnson. This is a contemporary fiction about a woman returning to her struggling hometown and the hope she finds in her comforting past. And then we have Infinite Country by Patricia Engel, which is a literary fiction, which is a multi-generational story that follows a Colombian family that is separated by borders. And lastly, we have The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, which is a historical fiction, which follows a family striving for a better life in the Depression era. Out of all of these books, obviously I would pick Honey Girl. I've been so excited for this book and it sounds amazing. So if you want to get your first book of the month for $9.99, you can use the code FEBREADS and the link that is in my description. So thank you, Book of the Month, for sponsoring this video. Everybody give me a round of applause because we are starting the year off strong. Not only did I finish my whole TBR, but I've read 17 books and the month is not even over yet. By the actual end of the month, I'm hoping I've read over 20. Fingers crossed, I think I can do it. So let me quickly go through everything that I read and my thoughts on them. So we'll start with, I read The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden and I gave this 5 stars. I loved it. This is the sequel to The Bear and the Nightingale, and if you want to know like all of my thoughts, I did a live show on Meg with Books channel where we all talked about this book. It was really funny because we literally all had such different opinions. Like a couple of us gave it 5 stars, someone gave it 3 stars, someone gave it 1 star. It was a very interesting live. But yeah, I loved this book. I thought it was a fantastic sequel. So then I did a reading vlog where I read your book recommendations, and in the first part I read these 5 books. So I read The Hollow Places by T. King Fisher, which I gave 5 stars. Elatsue by Darcy Little Badger, which I gave 4 stars. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, which I also gave 4 stars. Foul is Fair by Hannah Capin, which I gave 4.5 stars. And then The Test by Sylvian Neuville, which I think I gave 4 stars. So yeah, if you want to find out what I thought of these books, I will link that vlog and you guys can go watch it. It's probably one of my favorite reading vlogs that I have ever filmed. So then continuing with that, I did a part 2. Out of those, currently I have finished these 4. So I'm not gonna tell you my ratings or what I thought of these yet because I haven't posted that video, but I read City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, The Affair of the Mysterious Letter by Alexis Hall, Freshwater by Akwaeke Emezi, and then The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for part 2 because let's just say part 1 went too well. I was bound to not like some, and I didn't like some. Part 2 just didn't go as good as part 1. Then I read books 2 and 3 in the Bridgerton series, The Viscount Who Loved Me and An Offer from a Gentleman. I ended up skipping book 1 because I really just don't care about Daphne at all. So book 2 follows the eldest brother Anthony, and then book 3 follows the second brother Benedict. And I loved both of these. I don't really know what I was expecting. I feel like I love historical romances, but for some reason I just always had this idea that I wouldn't like Julia Quinn, but I loved that them. So The Viscount Who Loved Me I gave 4 stars, and then An Offer from a Gentleman I gave 5 stars, and I'm currently reading the 4th book. So yeah, I'm just really enjoying this series. So then I read 3 arcs. I read Across the Green Grass Field by Seanan McGuire, which is the 6th book in the Wayward Children series, and this was so good. I obviously gave it 5 stars. This is my all-time favorite series. And this book is a new intro into the series, so if you haven't started it yet or you're not caught up, you can read this book at any time. This can be the first one that you read, the second one that you read, the third one that you read. It's totally like not connected character-wise to any of the other books. This one follows a girl named Regan who really loves horses, and she is intersex. She finds herself into a world called the Hooflands, which has centaurs and unicorns and any type of hoofed creature, and it was great. Then I also read Remote Control by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a sci-fi about this girl who was touched by death. She finds this like mysterious box in a forest, and the box gives her powers, and she can like kill people with a touch and destroy towns. This was very weird, but I liked it. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. There were some parts that I was like a little bit confused, but overall I really enjoyed it. And then the last arc that I read was Fireheart Tiger by Alette de Bodard, and this is a fantasy novella that takes place in a Vietnamese-esque world, and it has influences, I would say, of like Howl's Moving Castle. Specifically, what is the fire demon? Calcifer? I think it's Calcifer. Imagine the fire demon is actually a woman secretly in love with a princess. I ended up giving this 3 stars. I feel like had this been a full-length novel, I would have loved it. It was just too short for the amount of story that was in it. There was a love triangle and all this like political maneuvering that just went way too quick. But if you are looking for a sapphic love triangle, which I feel like you rarely see, I would recommend it. I did like it. It just wasn't my favorite. Then I also read Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. This is like a fandom romance. It's kind of like inspired by Game of Thrones, and so it's like a Game of Thrones actor is writing fan fiction for his own character secretly, and he has like a pen pal type of relationship with a woman who cosplays another character on the show and writes fan fiction, but she doesn't know that he's the actor. I had such high hopes for this because everyone has given it 5 stars. Like all of my friends had it on their favorites romance of 2020 videos. Unfortunately, I didn't like it. I think I'm giving it 2 stars. Oh my god. I just found it really cringy. I don't know if it's because I'm such a big fan of Game of Thrones, but like the idea of a Game of Thrones actor writing fan fiction for his own character, I just couldn't suspend my disbelief. And like the way that they were talking about fan fiction was like, it was so serious. Like if anyone found out that they wrote fan fiction, their life would be over. Like that's just the way that they were talking about it. It was so dramatic. I just couldn't. It was very cringy to me, honestly. The last book that I read is Hood Feminism by Mika Kendall. I am really wanting to read more nonfiction. It's not something that I read ever, and I think it's because I just don't really know what type of nonfiction that I like. So I'm trying to read at least one a month, and this is the one that I read in January and I loved it. There's a quote that pretty much sums up what this book is about. For a movement that is meant to represent all women, it often centers on those who already have most of their needs met. And yeah, I don't really know how to rate nonfiction yet. Like I thought it was great, 5 stars. I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. Now that we've gotten through that and I've been filming for 20 minutes, the way that I do my TBRs every month is I have a TBR jar with a bunch of challenges in here. First book in a series, someone else's TBR, and I just pick out challenges from the jar and then select books that fit those challenges. I usually put a selection of books on my TBR cart that I'm the most interested in, just to help me like have some sort of direction while I'm picking my TBRs. This month though, we have some new challenges. So let me just quickly go through what the new challenges are. We have page number. So for this, I will do a random number generator and then pick a book that has the page number closest to the number that I get. We have cover by, recently read by. So that would be like I would go on either Goodreads or Instagram or whatever and just find a book that somebody I follow recently read. We have highest rated and lowest rated. So again, I would go onto Goodreads and sort my books highest to lowest. And then lastly, we have poll pick. So for this one, I will pick 2 books and then post on my Instagram story with a poll and have you guys pick one. As a reminder, here are all of the challenges in the jar, and I'm just gonna start choosing. This one. Poll pick. Okay. Oh my god, exciting. So let's see. What 2? I want to pick 2 that are kind of like similar. So there is a fantasy romance readathon going on in February. I will link the information for it down below. So I have 2 fantasy romances that I was considering reading. I have a feeling I know which one of these will win a poll, but let's do a poll and then we'll check in with it at the end of the video. Okay. I'm filming my February TBR right now, and I need you guys to vote which one of these books you want me to read, From Blood and Ash or Rhapsodic. So we will check in with that poll at the end of the video. Next one is lowest rated. Oh my god, we're getting all the new challenges. This is so exciting. Okay, I actually know what the lowest rated book is, and it happens to be back here, but let me double check. I'm pretty sure that it's Catherine House. The lowest rated book that I own is Catherine House. It has a 3.12. I literally put this on my TBR cart hoping I would pick the lowest rated challenge because I really want to read this. Something about it being the lowest rated book just intrigues me so much. I want to know why it's so divisive. People either love this or they hate it. All I know about it is that it is dark academia and it follows an undergraduate who uncovers this like secret society who's maybe doing some messed up stuff. So, okay, I'm so excited. Next, let's do this one. Ooh, almost dropped it back in. Yay, rainbow. So for this one, I have, where'd my phone go? I have a color wheel app on my phone and I'm gonna spin it, and whatever color it lands on, I'm gonna pick a book that has that color. Okay, red. Are any of these red? Uh-oh. Oh, I guess this one's red. Okay, so we have Hench by Natalie Zena Walcott. I feel like I've talked about this book in all of my past 5 videos, so you're probably sick of hearing about it. So this is about a woman who works for supervillains. She does just basic data jobs for a supervillain, and because of a hero, she ends up getting fired. So now she has this vendetta against superheroes, and she wants to use all of the data that she has collected from her job to take the heroes down. And yeah, I'm so excited for this. I literally have not heard anyone talk about this, but I randomly saw it on Goodreads. Next, let's do sci-fi. I think 2 sci-fi books on here. We have space opera and The Space Between Worlds. I think I'm gonna go with The Space Between Worlds. This is another book that I've talked a lot about recently. So this is about a future world where there are alternate universes that you can travel to, but you can only travel to an alternate universe if your alternate self in that world has died. So the main character is very special because she has died in 300 worlds. So she is one of the people who's able to travel to the most alternate worlds, and so she gets a job with the government, but then she comes across this conspiracy of why so many of her alternate selves have died, and it just sounds amazing. I'm really hyping it up for myself, so if it's gonna be bad, I will be crushed, but I'm very excited. All right, let's just pick a couple more. Okay, we have Sapphic. So let's see. I don't actually think any of these are sapphic. Ooh, oh my god, this is perfect. I'm gonna pick Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This is an adult sapphic getting drunk and married in Vegas romance, and I'm so excited. I've been hearing amazing buzz for this, and I was so excited when I saw that this was one of the Book of the Month selections, especially because I don't think this comes out until the end of the month. I think that this is an early release. Let's do one more and then we'll check in with the Instagram poll. Let's pick this one. Title starts with blank. Oh god. I'm probably going to have to pick a book off my main shelf. So let's do, I have a random letter wheel. B. Do I have a B? Oh my god, I do have a B. What are the odds? We have Borderline by Michelle Baker. This is a book that I've literally owned for so long, and it sounds really good. Basically, it's about this woman who gets offered a job with the Arcadia Project, which is a secret organization that polices the traffic to and from a parallel reality filled with creatures straight out of myths and fairy tales. So I believe that there's like fae and vampires, maybe not vampires, but there's like magical creatures. I know for sure that there's fae. And it says her first assignment is she is tasked with tracking down a missing movie star who also happens to be a nobleman from the Sealy court. This just sounds so cool. It's like the fae realm mixed with Hollywood. It's so random, but I'm into it. And like I said, I've owned this for a long time and I've always kind of like had my eye on it. Let me check in with that poll. I know it hasn't been very long, but I feel like I know what's gonna win. Okay, yeah. Blood and Ash is like killing it. There's no way Rhapsodic will catch up. It's only been 15 minutes and Blood and Ash has 157 votes. And Rhapsodic only has 60. I will be reading from Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So this is about a woman who is kind of like a nun. She's a maiden and she's supposed to live a life of solitary, never to be touched, never to be spoken to. And she's waiting for her ascension and she's assigned a guard to like protect her until her ascension. But her guard is like tempting her with passion. Yeah, and like I'm so excited to read this. Everyone has been loving it and talking about it and I feel left out. I'm really excited for this. So here is my February TBR. I'm so into this TBR. We have a contemporary romance, a sci-fi, a superhero sci-fi, a dark academia, an urban fantasy, fantasy romance. So many good genres here. So thank you guys for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye!